Unveiling your millionaire destiny with Buddhist philosophy. Is your birth date the key to your success? Welcome to Buddhist Stories, where we explore timeless teachings, ancient wisdom, and practical insights to guide you on your journey toward peace and fulfillment. I'm so glad you're here today. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what we're about to dive into could change the way you view success and wealth forever. Now, I want to ask you a question that might challenge everything you thought you knew about success. What if I told you that your path to prosperity isn't just about luck or numbers? What if the very moment you were born holds the secret to your financial success and spiritual growth? It may sound like something out of a mystic tale, but stay with me because today, we're going to unravel the fascinating intersection of numerology and Buddhist teachings, and how together they can guide you to a life of true prosperity. Have you ever thought about the fact that everything in life is interconnected? What if your birth date could reveal not just your personal traits but also the path to your fortune, both spiritual and material? That's right. In Buddhism, we're taught that everything in life has purpose and meaning. Each moment, every experience, and even every encounter is connected in ways we might not always see. Could this also mean that the forces that shape the moment of your birth could also shape the course of your future? But here's the twist that might surprise you. Buddhism teaches us that true wealth isn't measured by how much money you have, the size of your house, or the number of possessions you own. In fact, these material markers of success often lead to a fleeting sense of fulfillment. True prosperity in Buddhist philosophy is rooted in something much deeper: wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. And it's these very principles that can guide you toward a life of balance, inner peace, and lasting success. So, why does this matter? If you've ever wondered whether there's a deeper, more meaningful way to achieve success, one that doesn't come with burnout, stress, or the emptiness of chasing fleeting pleasures, then this video is for you. We'll explore how numerology, which can give you insights into your life's potential, intersects with Buddhist teachings on karma, mindfulness, and the true nature of wealth. Now, let me ask you another question. What if I told you that the things you think you want, money, fame, and recognition, could actually be distractions, leading you further away from the true success that's available to you? Intrigued? Let's dive in and discover how numerology, in combination with Buddhist wisdom, can lead you not only to material wealth but to a deeper, more fulfilling kind of prosperity. So, grab a seat, take a deep breath, and let's explore this incredible connection. Don't forget to like, comment, and share if this resonates with you, and feel free to ask questions along the way. Because together, we're not just seeking wealth, we're seeking enlightenment. In this opening, we've set the stage to keep the audience intrigued by questioning common assumptions about success and introducing the connection between numerology and Buddhism in an engaging way. We've used curiosity-driven questions, a hint of mystery, and an invitation to reflect on deeper meanings in life, tools that help draw the audience in and keep them invested in the video. The power of your birth date, a tool for understanding your path. In numerology, the idea that each birth date carries a unique number, a life path number, has been regarded as an insightful tool for understanding one's life trajectory and potential. As we consider this powerful concept, it's important to take a step back and reflect on how it aligns with the timeless teachings of the Buddha. After all, the Buddha often emphasized that life is a journey, an unfolding path of discovery. While numbers may offer glimpses into our traits and potential, it is ultimately the choices we make, our intentions, and the way we align our actions with wisdom that shape our true destiny. Let us imagine, for a moment, that you were born on a particular day, say the 1st, 10th, 19th, or 28th of a month. These dates correspond to life path number 1. A number often associated with leadership, determination, and independence. People born under this number tend to be driven by ambition, courage, and a desire to make a significant mark on the world. These individuals are often seen as natural leaders, trailblazers, and entrepreneurs who are compelled to create and innovate. But how does this relate to Buddhist teachings? In Buddhism, we are taught the importance of right effort, one of the elements of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right effort is about cultivating the discipline to pursue our goals with diligence, while also releasing attachment to the results. The true essence of right effort is the understanding that we must put in the work, yet remain unattached to the outcome, whether success or failure. This mindset fosters a deep inner peace and balance, even as we strive for excellence. The Buddhist teachings and the life path number 1. People born under life path number 1 often possess strong leadership qualities, and their ambition drives them toward great accomplishments. But the Buddha would caution us. Ambition, while a powerful motivator, can also be a source of suffering if not approached with mindfulness. In Buddhism, attachment is seen as the root of suffering. When we attach ourselves too tightly to our ambitions or desires, we set ourselves up for dissatisfaction when things don't go as planned. Imagine this: a young man, eager to prove himself in the world, sets out on a journey to build a business empire. He is determined, full of energy, and filled with a drive to succeed. However, as he climbs the ladder of success, he becomes more and more consumed by his desires, money, recognition, and the validation of others. Over time, this pursuit of external success begins to create tension within him. He grows anxious, stressed, and disconnected from the very reason he began his journey in the first place, to make a meaningful contribution to the world. In one moment of stillness, he decides to visit a wise Buddhist monk. He asks, "Master, I've worked tirelessly to build my empire, but I feel emptiness inside. No matter how much I achieve, it's never enough. Why is this?" The monk looks at him gently and replies, "My son, you are like a person trying to fill a cup with water from the ocean. The cup will never be full, because it is not about the ocean, but the cup itself. Your efforts are important, but you must also learn to release your attachment to the results. True success lies not in what you achieve, but in how you approach your journey." This story illustrates a core Buddhist teaching. True fulfillment comes not from the outcome of our efforts, but from the quality of our intentions and actions. By focusing on right effort and letting go of our attachment to results, we find peace along the way. Embracing your life path number with mindfulness. For those born under life path number 1, the challenge lies in balancing their ambition with the practice of mindfulness. This means applying the principle of right effort not only in their work but also in their inner lives. The Buddha taught that mindfulness, awareness of the present moment, is essential for living a balanced and peaceful life. When we are mindful, we are less likely to be swayed by the turbulence of our desires. Instead, we can remain grounded, even amidst success or failure. A Buddhist practitioner born under life path number 1 might start each day with a few moments of meditation, setting an intention to approach their work with calmness and clarity. As they face challenges in their journey, they might remind themselves to stay present, to focus on the process rather than the outcome, and to act with compassion for others along the way. This approach not only helps them achieve success but ensures that their success does not come at the cost of their peace of mind. The role of compassion in leadership. In Buddhism, the practice of compassion is paramount. Leaders who embody compassion are able to inspire and uplift others. Life path number 1 individuals, while often focused on their own journey, can find great strength in incorporating compassion into their leadership style. The Buddha taught that compassion is the foundation of all right action. When we lead with a heart full of compassion, we create an environment where everyone can flourish, not just ourselves. Let us imagine another story. A young woman, driven by ambition and seeking to make her mark in the business world, is leading a team of employees. At first, she is solely focused on achieving her goals and climbing the corporate ladder. However, she begins to notice that her team feels disconnected, and their morale is low. Her focus on results has caused her to overlook the well-being of those around her. One day, she speaks with a senior colleague who advises her. True leadership is not about achieving success alone, but about lifting others up with you. When you practice compassion, not only do you help others succeed, but you find success that is deeply fulfilling. She takes this advice to heart and begins to approach her work with a sense of care for her team. She listens to their needs, supports their growth, and shows genuine concern for their well-being. Slowly but surely, the atmosphere in the workplace shifts. People feel valued and motivated, and as a result, the company's success soars. By practicing compassion, she not only finds greater fulfillment but also leads her team to greater heights. The importance of right action and right speech. Another critical element of Buddhist teachings that aligns with life path number 1 is the importance of right action and right speech. These are two more aspects of the Eightfold Path that guide us toward ethical living and harmonious relationships. Leaders, especially those driven by ambition, must be mindful of their actions and the words they speak. For both can have a profound impact on those around them. Consider a business leader who, despite having the best intentions, occasionally speaks harshly to employees in moments of stress. While this might be understandable during challenging times, it can damage relationships and create an atmosphere of fear. The Buddha would advise such a leader to practice right speech, speaking with kindness, honesty, and consideration. Right speech helps to foster trust, respect, and collaboration, key ingredients for sustainable success. Likewise, right action involves acting in a way that is not only effective but also ethical. For a life path number 1 individual, this might mean making decisions that are not only profitable but also beneficial to society. Whether it's through supporting charitable causes, creating fair working conditions, or implementing sustainable practices. Right action ensures that the leader's success contributes positively to the world. The dance of ambition and peace. It is important to recognize that ambition itself is not inherently negative in Buddhist thought. The Buddha did not teach us to abandon our desires altogether, but rather to cultivate desires that lead to positive outcomes. Ambition can be a powerful force when it is directed toward the welfare of others and when it is pursued with wisdom, clarity, and mindfulness. For those born under life path number 1, the key is learning to dance with ambition. Rather than allowing it to control them, they must learn to control it with the tools of mindfulness and wisdom. The more they can detach from the need for external validation and focus on the intrinsic rewards of their efforts, the more peaceful and fulfilled they will be along the way. A great way for someone on this path to maintain balance is to engage in practices that nurture inner peace. This could involve regular meditation, mindfulness practices, or simply taking time each day to reflect on their progress, not just in terms of material achievement, but in terms of personal growth and spiritual development. Call to action: embrace the journey. If you find yourself resonating with the qualities of life path number 1, ambition, determination, and leadership, ask yourself, how can I pursue my goals with mindfulness and compassion? How can I lead not just with my head, but with my heart? The Buddha teaches us that the path to success is not just about external achievements, but about internal transformation. It's about learning to walk with wisdom, mindfulness, and compassion, no matter what challenges arise. So, I invite you to pause for a moment and reflect. How can you align your ambitions with the deeper purpose of your life? How can you lead others in a way that is both successful and meaningful? Remember, true success is not found in what we accumulate, but in the peace and wisdom we cultivate along the way. As you continue your journey, may you walk with a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are on the right path, one that leads not just to external success, but to true inner peace. To the Buddhist approach, using your traits for greater good. In the grand scheme of life, the journey we take is deeply influenced by the choices we make, the path we follow, and the intentions we carry in our hearts. This is something that the Buddha repeatedly emphasized throughout his teachings. Life is not simply a series of random events. It is a meaningful journey that is shaped by our inner awareness, wisdom, and the actions we choose to take. In Buddhism, the concept of right intention is pivotal in guiding us to live with compassion and to use our traits and abilities for the greater good. When we consider the life path number 9, we see a unique blend of qualities that align closely with the Buddhist teachings of selflessness, compassion, and a desire to contribute positively to the world. The number 9 is often associated with those who are deeply humanitarian, driven not by personal ambition, but by the aspiration to make the world a better place. These individuals are naturally drawn to causes that uplift others, whether through their work, their art, or simply their presence. In Buddhism, the practice of right intention encourages us to engage in actions that benefit others without attachment to the results. It teaches that true fulfillment and wealth lie not in material gain, but in the positive impact we have on those around us. For someone with a life path number 9, this can be incredibly powerful. While they may not always seek financial gain or external recognition, they find wealth in the love they give and the difference they make in the world. This kind of wealth is enduring, profound, and far more rewarding than any material possession. Right intention and the path of the humanitarian. To illustrate this, let me tell you a story from the life of a Buddhist monk. One that encapsulates the very essence of right intention and its profound impact on the world. Many years ago, in a small village nestled in the mountains, there lived a humble monk known for his compassion and wisdom. He spent his days meditating, teaching, and helping the villagers with their struggles. People often came to him with their problems, whether they were facing personal hardship or seeking guidance on matters of the heart. This monk was not interested in fame or wealth. His sole purpose was to alleviate the suffering of others. One day, a wealthy merchant from a distant town visited the village. He had heard of the monk's renown and had come to seek his advice. The merchant, though wealthy in material terms, was troubled. His heart was heavy with sorrow, and his soul felt unfulfilled. He asked the monk, "Master, I have everything, money, land, and power, but I feel empty inside. How can I find true happiness?" The monk, with his gentle smile, answered, "True wealth is not found in gold or possessions, but in the love and wisdom we offer to others. The more you give, the richer you become. When you live with a compassionate heart, you are not only helping others, but you are also healing yourself." The merchant listened intently, but he did not fully understand. He returned to his lavish home, but the monk's words lingered in his mind. Over the years, he began to reflect on his life and the way he had lived. Slowly, he shifted his focus from accumulating wealth to sharing it with those in need. He built schools, fed the hungry, and supported the sick. And as he gave, he found peace. He had begun to walk the path of right intention, and in doing so, he discovered that the wealth he had always sought was not in his bank accounts, but in the lives he had touched. This story beautifully exemplifies how a life path 9 person can find true wealth not through personal gain, but through their service to others. The monk's advice, rooted in the Buddhist teachings of compassion and selflessness, led the merchant to a life of deep fulfillment. In Buddhism, we are reminded that every action we take can either bring us closer to liberation or tie us further into the web of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The merchant's transformation was a journey of breaking free from the attachments to material success and embracing the deeper, more lasting wealth that comes from serving others. The concept of true wealth in Buddhism. In Buddhism, wealth is seen not just as the accumulation of material goods, but as the cultivation of inner peace, wisdom, and compassion. True wealth is measured by the love, kindness, and wisdom we share with others. This kind of wealth does not fade or perish. Unlike material possessions, which can be lost or destroyed, the wealth we accumulate through compassionate actions grows and expands with every act of kindness. Life Path 9 individuals, whose lives are driven by a desire to help others, find that their actions create ripples of positive change that extend far beyond their immediate environment. Their wealth is measured in the joy and relief they bring to others, in the smiles they inspire, and in the positive changes they create in the world. The Buddha teaches us that all beings are interconnected. When we help others, we help ourselves. When we lift others up, we too are lifted. This is why Life Path 9 individuals often find themselves financially rewarded or supported in their journey, even though they may not actively seek these rewards. Their good deeds create a karmic flow that brings back blessings in various forms. The wisdom of non-attachment in action. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is the concept of non-attachment. It is the understanding that attachment to things, whether material possessions, relationships, or even our desires for success, leads to suffering. When we let go of our attachment to outcomes and let go of our ego's need for recognition, we open ourselves to a deeper, more fulfilling form of wealth. A person born under life path number may 9 be naturally inclined to service. But even in their humanitarian efforts, they must be mindful of the dangers of attachment. The true challenge for these individuals is to give freely, without clinging to the expectation of reward or recognition. This requires an understanding of the impermanence of life. Everything is fleeting, and nothing lasts forever. A wonderful example of non-attachment can be found in the story of a Buddhist monk who was revered by his community for his generosity. One day, a villager came to him, offering a large sum of money as a token of gratitude for the monk's teachings and kindness. The monk, however, politely refused the gift and said, "I do not need this. My reward is found in the happiness that my actions bring to others. The real treasure is in the love and wisdom we share, not in material wealth." This story encapsulates the Buddhist practice of non-attachment, detaching from the need for external rewards, and instead finding fulfillment in the act of giving itself. Life Path 9 individuals can benefit from this teaching, as they too must be careful not to become attached to the recognition or rewards that may come from their good deeds. True wealth lies in the act of kindness, not in what we gain from it. The call to action, using your gifts for greater good. If you find yourself resonating with the qualities of life path number 9, compassion, humanitarianism, and a desire to make the world a better place, ask yourself, how can I use my gifts to help others? How can I live with right intention, and make a lasting impact on the world? The Buddhist teachings offer guidance on how to live a life of service without falling into the trap of attachment. By practicing non-attachment and giving freely, you can cultivate a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. Remember, true wealth is not found in what we accumulate, but in the love and wisdom we share with others. As you continue on your journey, reflect on the impact you are making in the world. Are you living with a compassionate heart? Are you using your talents and abilities to serve others? The more you align with the principles of right intention and non-attachment, the more you will discover the true wealth that lies within your own heart. So, as you go about your day, ask yourself, what acts of kindness can I offer today? How can I contribute to the greater good without expecting anything in return? Embrace the journey of giving, and you will find that the wealth you seek is already within you. The Buddhist teachings remind us that true wealth is not measured by material possessions, but by the love, compassion, and wisdom we bring into the world. By living with right intention and serving others, we open ourselves to a deeper, more lasting form of fulfillment. And in doing so, we not only transform the world around us, but we also transform ourselves. 3 Real-life story, The Monk and the Miser. In the realm of Buddhist teachings, there is a profound story that beautifully illustrates the delicate balance between wealth and attachment. This story has been passed down through generations and serves as a timeless reminder of the true meaning of prosperity. It highlights the essential Buddhist principles of contentment, mindfulness, and the pursuit of inner peace over material accumulation. As we delve into this tale, I invite you to reflect deeply on the lessons it holds. The man's desire for wealth. Once, in a faraway land, there lived a poor man who yearned for wealth. His days were filled with the struggle of survival, and every evening, he would lie awake, wondering how he could escape the chains of poverty. The man was consumed by thoughts of riches. He believed that if he could just acquire enough gold, enough possessions, then his life would be complete. His desire for wealth had become an obsession. One day, he heard of a wise monk living in the hills, known throughout the land for his deep understanding of life's mysteries. People spoke of his ability to offer solutions to even the most challenging questions. The man, desperate and determined, decided to visit the monk and seek his guidance. He made his way to the monk's humble monastery, and after a long journey, he stood before the monk with a look of earnest determination in his eyes. "Master," he said, "I want to become rich. I want to live a life of abundance. How can I achieve this?" The monk, sitting in calm meditation, looked up with kind eyes. He could see the longing in the man's heart, the desperation that had driven him to this point. But the monk also knew that wealth, as the man imagined it, was not the true answer to his suffering. The monk replied softly, "Wealth is not found in gold, my son, but in the richness of your heart. To be truly prosperous, you must cultivate generosity, compassion, and mindfulness. It is through these qualities that you will discover the wealth you seek." The man, eager for a quick solution, was not satisfied with this answer. He had expected the monk to provide him with a simple formula or a magical path to wealth. He had heard many rumors about the monk's wisdom, but this was not what he had hoped for. Feeling disappointed, the man ignored the monk's advice and left the monastery with a singular goal of accumulating wealth. He was convinced that financial prosperity was the key to happiness. The obsession with wealth. Years passed, and the man worked tirelessly. He devoted his life to amassing riches. He took on multiple jobs, invested in ventures, and lived with a singular purpose: to become wealthy. Over time, his fortune grew. He owned large properties, amassed gold and jewels, and surrounded himself with luxuries that once seemed unimaginable. Yet, despite his material success, something was missing. His life became a cycle of relentless work and endless pursuit of more money, more possessions, more power. Each time he acquired something new, he felt a fleeting sense of satisfaction, only for it to dissipate as quickly as it had come. His mind was never at rest, and his heart, though filled with wealth, remained empty. He became isolated, losing touch with the people around him. Friends and family grew distant, for he had little time for relationships or personal connections. He was consumed by his wealth, yet he felt a deep emptiness within. No amount of money or possessions could fill the void he felt inside. Despite all his riches, he was unfulfilled. The return to the monk. Years passed, and the man's wealth continued to grow, but so did his sorrow. He felt increasingly lonely, detached from the world, and unsure of his place in it. The words of the monk, though long forgotten, began to resurface in his mind. He remembered the monk's gentle voice telling him that true wealth was found in the heart, not in possessions. He realized that no matter how much he had, he would never feel truly complete until he understood the deeper meaning of prosperity. With a heavy heart, the man returned to the monk. He had come full circle. But he now understood that the wealth he sought was not external, it was within him, waiting to be discovered. He stood before the monk once again, his head bowed in humility. "Master," he said, his voice filled with regret, "I have accumulated riches beyond my wildest dreams, but I feel empty. I have everything I ever wanted, yet I feel poorer than when I started. What am I missing?" The monk smiled gently, his eyes full of compassion and understanding. He did not scold the man, but instead, he spoke softly, imparting wisdom that would change the man's life forever. "True prosperity," the monk said, "is found in the heart, not in possessions. You may have many things, but without contentment, you are poorer than when you began. The wealth you sought through material means has only led you further from the peace and happiness you longed for. You have been chasing after the wind, thinking it would bring you fulfillment. But true wealth is not in what you have, it is in who you are and how you live." The monk continued, "Contentment, generosity, and mindfulness are the true sources of wealth. When you give of yourself, your time, your energy, your love, you will discover that the abundance you seek is already within you. It is in the simple act of living with kindness, compassion, and awareness. These are the treasures that will bring you lasting peace and joy." The path to true wealth. As the man listened to the monk's words, something shifted within him. He realized that the monk had not merely given him advice. He had offered him a path that would lead to true wealth. One that could not be measured by the size of his bank account or the number of possessions he owned. The man now understood that his relentless pursuit of material gain had been a distraction from the deeper, more meaningful life that awaited him. The monk's teachings were not a condemnation of wealth itself, but a reminder that attachment to wealth, whether physical possessions or the desire for status, can cloud our hearts and minds. In Buddhism, attachment is considered one of the root causes of suffering. It is the attachment to our desires, whether for wealth, power, or fame, that binds us to the cycle of suffering and rebirth. By letting go of attachment, we free ourselves to experience life as it truly is, impermanent, fleeting, and beautiful in its simplicity. True wealth is not something we accumulate, but something we cultivate within ourselves. It is found in our capacity for love, our ability to be present in the moment, and our willingness to help others without expectation of reward. The lesson and the call to action. As the man left the monastery, he was filled with a sense of peace and clarity that he had never known before. He understood now that the monk had been right all along. True prosperity comes not from amassing wealth, but from living a life of generosity, mindfulness, and contentment. The man had spent so many years chasing after fleeting desires that he had forgotten what truly mattered, the richness of his heart. The lesson of the monk and the miser is a timeless one. It reminds us that the pursuit of material wealth is not inherently wrong, but it becomes problematic when it becomes an obsession, when we lose sight of the deeper, more lasting forms of wealth that reside within us. The Buddha taught us that attachment to external things leads to suffering, while letting go of attachment allows us to experience true freedom. In the story, the monk teaches the miser to look within himself, to find contentment, and to practice generosity. These are the true sources of wealth, and they are available to all of us, regardless of our external circumstances. If we can cultivate these qualities in our own lives, we, too, can experience the true richness that the monk spoke of. As you reflect on this story, I invite you to ask yourself, what is it that I am truly seeking in life? Is it the accumulation of wealth and possessions? Or is it the cultivation of peace, compassion, and contentment? How can I use my time, my energy, and my resources to bring more love and kindness into the world? Remember, the true wealth is not found in what we have, but in how we live. It is in the generosity we offer, the compassion we extend, and the mindfulness we bring to each moment. If you seek true prosperity, let go of your attachment to material things and focus on the treasures that lie within. By living with a generous and compassionate heart, you will discover that the wealth you seek is already there, waiting for you to embrace it. For life path and financial success, it's more than numbers. In the intricate world of numerology, there is an ancient belief that each birth date carries a unique life path number. This number, according to numerology, has the potential to influence a person's traits, character, and even their path to financial success. For example, those born under life path 1 are often associated with leadership, independence, and a strong sense of determination. Life path 8, on the other hand, is often tied to ambition, material success, and a drive for power. It suggests that certain individuals are naturally predisposed to achieve financial success due to their innate qualities. But as we look deeper into the Buddhist philosophy, we begin to see a different perspective. While numerology may offer insight into potential traits, it is essential to recognize that external success, particularly financial success, is fleeting. In the teachings of the Buddha, true wealth is not something found in gold or material possessions, but in cultivating a heart full of compassion, mindfulness, and inner peace. The Buddha often reminded his followers that it is not what we have in terms of material wealth, but the richness of our hearts that leads to true prosperity. The illusion of external success. We live in a world that constantly tells us that success is measured by external achievements. The size of our bank accounts, the number of possessions we own, and the status we have in society often become the yardsticks by which we measure our value and worth. Society pushes us to chase after these external markers of success, often at the cost of our inner peace and well-being. This pursuit can be all-consuming, leaving us feeling empty despite having achieved outward success. In Buddhism, the notion of attachment plays a crucial role in understanding why the pursuit of external wealth can lead to suffering. The Buddha taught that attachment to worldly desires, including the desire for wealth and power, is the root of suffering. When we become attached to material success and believe that it will bring us happiness, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. This is because material wealth, like everything in life, is impermanent. The wealth we accumulate will eventually fade, and in its absence, we are left with emptiness. This is beautifully captured in the story of a man who, despite achieving great financial success, found himself struggling with feelings of emptiness and despair. His story serves as a reminder that external success is only temporary, and that true contentment lies in the cultivation of inner peace and mindfulness. The story of the wealthy man and his emptiness. There once was a wealthy man who had everything anyone could desire. He owned vast estates, had numerous businesses, and was known as one of the richest men in his land. Yet, despite all of his material wealth, he found himself constantly unhappy. He had achieved everything he thought would bring him peace, but his heart felt empty. He had no true friends, no deep relationships, and no sense of fulfillment. One day, the man sought the advice of a Buddhist monk who was known for his wisdom. The monk had lived a life of simplicity and was often sought out by people who were struggling with the emptiness that comes from material wealth. The man approached the monk and asked, "Master, I have everything I ever wanted: money, power, and prestige. Yet, I feel miserable. What am I missing? Why am I so unhappy?" The monk smiled gently and said, "You have filled your life with material things. But you have neglected the most important wealth of all, the wealth of a peaceful heart. True prosperity comes not from what you have, but from the richness of your mind and spirit. You have chased after the things that are impermanent, but the things that last. Compassion, wisdom, and mindfulness are the true treasures." The wealthy man was puzzled. He had spent his whole life pursuing material wealth, and now, at the height of his success, he was being told that it was all meaningless. The monk continued, "True wealth is not about the accumulation of things. It is about the inner peace you cultivate, the love you share, and the wisdom you seek. When you learn to let go of your attachment to material things and focus on nurturing your inner qualities, you will find the happiness you seek." This story illustrates a profound teaching in Buddhism: the understanding that material wealth is not the true source of happiness. The true wealth that we seek is found in the peace of our hearts and the wisdom we cultivate through mindfulness and compassion. The more we let go of our attachment to external success and turn inward, the more we discover the riches that lie within. The Buddhist perspective on life path numbers. Now, let us return to the idea of life path numbers in numerology. While numerology may offer insight into a person's traits and tendencies, it is important to remember that the true measure of success in life is not determined by numbers, but by the way we live our lives in alignment with wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. This is where Buddhism offers a unique perspective. For example, those born under life path 1 are often associated with leadership, independence, and determination. These individuals are driven to succeed and often achieve great success in the material world. However, the Buddha would advise them to be mindful of the dangers of attachment to their own achievements. Success should not be the goal in and of itself, rather, it is the quality of the journey and the intention behind the effort that matters most. A life path 1 individual may find success, but if they are attached to the outcome, they will still find themselves lacking in true fulfillment. Similarly, those born under life path 8, often associated with ambition and material success, may be drawn to power and wealth. The Buddha would encourage them to examine their motivations and ensure that their ambition is aligned with compassion and right intention. Power and wealth, when used for the benefit of others, can be a force for good. But if driven solely by ego and the desire for personal gain, they can lead to suffering and emptiness. In Buddhism, the focus is on the intention behind our actions, rather than the actions themselves. It is through right intention that we can transform our actions into a source of true happiness and peace. The Buddha taught that we should strive to act with kindness, compassion, and mindfulness in all that we do. When our actions are rooted in these qualities, we move closer to the true wealth that we seek. The importance of mindfulness and right intention. Mindfulness is a central practice in Buddhism, and it plays a crucial role in how we approach life's challenges, including the pursuit of financial success. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in each moment, paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we are able to observe our desires and attachments without becoming consumed by them. This allows us to make choices that are aligned with our true values and priorities, rather than being driven by the need for external validation or material gain. Right intention, another aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path, complements mindfulness by helping us cultivate an intention that is grounded in compassion and wisdom. It encourages us to act not out of selfish desire, but from a place of kindness and generosity. When our intentions are pure, our actions naturally follow suit, and we are able to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. In the context of financial success, mindfulness and right intention guide us to seek wealth not for the sake of personal gain, but as a means to support ourselves and help others. When we approach wealth with this mindset, we free ourselves from the cycle of attachment and the suffering that comes with it. We learn to use our resources wisely, with compassion and generosity, rather than hoarding them out of fear or greed. The true wealth of the heart. As we reflect on the Buddhist teachings, we come to understand that true wealth is not found in material possessions or external success. True wealth is the peace of mind that comes from letting go of attachment and living in harmony with the present moment. It is the compassion we extend to others and the wisdom we cultivate through mindfulness and right intention. True prosperity is not something that can be measured by numbers or possessions. It is found in the richness of our hearts. When we live with compassion, when we are mindful in our actions, and when we approach each moment with right intention, we unlock the true potential for happiness and peace. As we embark on our journey toward financial success, let us remember that the universe has already provided us with everything we need. The key is not in seeking more, but in learning to be content with what we have and using it wisely. By channeling our energy and intention into actions that benefit ourselves and others, we move closer to the true wealth that the Buddha spoke of, a wealth that is not fleeting, but everlasting. Call to action. Reflect on your path. As you consider your own path to success, both financially and spiritually, ask yourself, what is my true intention? Am I seeking wealth for the sake of material gain? Or am I using my resources to create a life of meaning and purpose? How can I use my wealth and influence to benefit others and contribute to the greater good? Remember, true wealth is not about the accumulation of things. It is about the peace, wisdom, and love we cultivate within ourselves and share with others. Let go of your attachment to external success and focus on building the richness of your heart. By doing so, you will discover the true prosperity that lies within. Take action. Begin with mindfulness. As we navigate the intricacies of our lives, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of success, be it financial, social, or personal. We often forget that the journey itself holds the most profound lessons, and that true prosperity doesn't simply lie in what we accumulate, but in how we approach each moment. This understanding, rooted in the teachings of the Buddha, calls us to embrace mindfulness as the foundation for all actions. It is through mindfulness that we begin to see the world clearly and respond with wisdom, compassion, and balance. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not merely a practice, but a way of living. It is about being fully present in each moment without attachment to outcomes or distractions. When we are mindful, we are not swept away by the currents of desire, nor are we imprisoned by the past or future. We simply are. It is in this state of awareness that we find the clarity needed to make wise decisions, and the peace needed to lead a fulfilled life. The role of mindfulness in prosperity. Mindfulness is not just about quieting the mind or reducing stress, it is a key component in cultivating true prosperity. In Buddhism, prosperity is not measured by wealth or material gain, but by the richness of the heart and the depth of one's connection to the world around them. Mindfulness teaches us to be in tune with the present moment, to understand our emotions and thoughts, and to act with compassion and wisdom. When we act mindfully, we bring balance to all aspects of our life, including our financial journey. Prosperity in the Buddhist sense doesn't just mean the accumulation of things. It means having peace of mind, being in harmony with the world, and using our energy and resources to create something that benefits others. When we are mindful, we act with intention and purpose, which naturally leads to outcomes that align with our deepest values. Take, for example, the story of a monk who, despite living a life of simplicity, radiated an aura of peace and contentment. People often sought his advice, believing that his serenity could lead them to the same level of fulfillment. One day, a wealthy merchant came to the monk, complaining of his unease despite his riches. "Master," the merchant said, "I have everything I could ever want: land, money, servants, but my heart is empty. What do I lack?" The monk smiled gently and said, "You have filled your life with wealth, but you have neglected the wealth of your heart. True prosperity is not in what you own, but in the peace you cultivate. Begin with mindfulness. Live each moment with awareness and compassion, and you will find the peace you seek." The merchant, though skeptical, left the monk's presence deeply moved. Over time, he began to implement mindfulness in his daily life. Slowly, he let go of his attachment to his possessions and focused on being present, cultivating compassion, and helping others. Eventually, he discovered a joy far deeper than the wealth he had once sought. His wealth, though still substantial, no longer defined his happiness. He had found peace within. This story exemplifies the power of mindfulness in transforming not only our perception of wealth but our entire approach to life. Through mindfulness, the merchant learned that true prosperity is found within through peace, love, and intentional living. Life path and mindfulness, the key to balance. As we explore our individual paths, whether it be in business, relationships, or personal growth, it is important to remember that our journey is not solely about reaching the destination. In Buddhism, the process is just as significant as the outcome. Every moment, every step we take, has the potential to bring us closer to enlightenment or further away from it. Mindfulness helps us stay grounded, present, and aware of the path we are walking. For those born under life path number 4, which is associated with discipline, organization, and structure, mindfulness becomes an even more crucial practice. Individuals with this life path are often drawn to creating things of lasting value: a business, a community, or a project that has a positive impact on the world. Their path requires patience, consistency, and a deep commitment to long-term goals. However, as is often the case with such individuals, the desire for results can lead to frustration. Life path number 4s are often focused on building solid foundations, but they may struggle with impatience when the results of their hard work are not immediately apparent. This is where mindfulness can make a profound difference. By cultivating mindfulness, they can learn to appreciate the journey, trust in the process, and avoid the trap of impatience. A Life Path 4 story, The Builder's Journey. Once, there was a young man born under life path number 4. He had big dreams of building a thriving business that would help countless people. He was disciplined, organized, and committed to his goal. But as the years passed, his business didn't take off as quickly as he had hoped. He faced many challenges: financial setbacks, unsupportive partners, and moments of self-doubt. Feeling frustrated and uncertain, the young man decided to seek the advice of an elder, a wise woman who had built a successful business of her own. The woman listened to his concerns and asked him, "Do you understand the true value of patience and mindfulness?" At first, the young man was puzzled. "Patience?" he asked. "I've been patient for years. I've worked tirelessly, and yet the results are not coming as quickly as I hoped." The wise woman smiled gently. "Patience does not mean waiting idly for things to change. It means taking mindful action, step by step, without rushing or forcing the process. It means trusting that your efforts will bear fruit in due time. You must first cultivate peace within yourself before you can see the results you desire." The young man left the wise woman's presence feeling both humbled and inspired. He decided to take a new approach. Instead of obsessing over the speed of his progress, He focused on staying present and mindful in each task, no matter how small. He cultivated gratitude for each step along the way. And most importantly, he learned to find contentment in the process itself, not just in the outcome. Years later, his business flourished, not because of any sudden breakthrough, but because he had built it with intention, mindfulness, and patience. He had learned to appreciate the moments of struggle and challenge, realizing that each one was an opportunity for growth. His journey had not only brought him financial success but had also transformed him into a person of greater peace and wisdom. The power of right action. In Buddhism, right action is one of the elements of the Eightfold Path. It refers to actions that are aligned with ethical principles, bringing about positive outcomes for oneself and others. Right action encourages us to act with integrity, kindness, and mindfulness, ensuring that our actions contribute to the well-being of the world. For those on Life Path 4, right action is especially important. These individuals are driven to create lasting foundations, and the actions they take will determine the long-term impact of their efforts. When they act mindfully, with a clear sense of purpose, they build not only their businesses or projects but also their character. Their actions, when aligned with compassion and wisdom, can create lasting positive change. The story of the wise builder. A long time ago, there was a builder who was known for his skill and attention to detail. He built beautiful homes that stood the test of time, admired by all who saw them. However, the builder was not content with simply creating great structures. He wanted to build something that would bring lasting peace and joy to the people who lived in the homes he built. One day, a young man asked the builder how he managed to build such sturdy, beautiful homes. The builder paused for a moment and then said, "I do not simply build houses. I build homes, places where people can find peace, comfort, and love. Every nail I hammer, every beam I set, I do with mindfulness. My intention is not just to finish the job, but to create something that will serve others for generations to come." The young man, impressed, asked, "But doesn't it take a long time to build such a home?" The builder smiled. "Yes, it does. But the time I spend is worth it. Every moment of my work is infused with intention and care. The house may take years to build, but the result will be something that lasts far longer than my own lifetime. In the end, the home will not just stand as a structure, but as a place of love and comfort for all who enter it." This story of the wise builder perfectly illustrates the value of right action and mindfulness in creating something lasting. Just as the builder worked with intention and care, we too must act with mindfulness and patience as we work toward our own goals. Whether we are building a business, a community, or simply our own lives, the quality of our actions determines the long-term success and fulfillment we achieve. Call to action: reflect on your journey. As you reflect on your own journey in the path to prosperity, consider this. What is your true intention behind the actions you take? Are you acting with mindfulness, patience, and purpose? Life Path 4 individuals often feel the pressure to build something great, but remember, it is not the speed or size of what you build that matters most. It is the integrity, compassion, and mindfulness with which you build it. Take a moment to pause and reflect. How can you bring more mindfulness into your daily actions? How can you act with greater intention, knowing that each step, no matter how small, is part of the larger process of your growth? By aligning your actions with wisdom, patience, and compassion, you can create not only lasting success but also a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Let your path be one of mindfulness, balance, and right action. Through this practice, you will discover that the true wealth you seek lies not in what you build, but in how you build it. Conclusion: embrace the journey. As we conclude this exploration of numerology and Buddhist wisdom, it's important to take a moment to reflect on what we've learned today. In a world that often encourages us to measure success by external achievements such as wealth, fame, or recognition, it can be easy to forget that true prosperity is not solely determined by material gain. At the end of the day, wealth is not just about the alignment of the stars or the numbers in your birth date. While these ancient practices offer insight into our potential and tendencies, they are not the final answer to our success. Instead, it's about how you align your actions with your values. It's about how you respond to life's challenges and, more importantly, how you live with integrity. As we discussed, the teachings of Buddhism offer a refreshing perspective on what it means to be truly prosperous. True wealth, according to Buddhist wisdom, is found not in the accumulation of material possessions, but in cultivating inner peace, compassion, and mindfulness. The true measure of wealth is found in how we treat others, how we live with purpose, and how we bring goodness into the world. I encourage you to reflect on your life path number. How does it resonate with you? What lessons can you learn from it? And how can you channel this newfound understanding to make a positive impact? The teachings of Buddhism remind us that our journey to prosperity is not just about personal gain, but about creating a future of abundance and happiness not just for ourselves, but for all beings. The right action, a path to prosperity. Living with integrity and aligning your actions with your values means understanding that prosperity is a collective experience. When we embrace our challenges, respond with compassion, and act mindfully, we bring ourselves closer to the true wealth that Buddhism teaches, an inner wealth that transcends materialism and allows us to lead a life of balance and peace. In a way, each step you take on this journey is an opportunity to become the best version of yourself. With each mindful choice, each compassionate action, you're creating a life filled with meaning and prosperity. Your life path number might provide clues to your strengths, but it's your actions, how you approach each challenge and opportunity, that will truly define your path. So, I leave you with this Buddhist teaching to guide you. The only way to create true wealth is through compassion, mindfulness, and the right action. These are the core elements of prosperity that transcend any material success. True prosperity is an inner state that radiates outward, influencing not just your life but the lives of others. Call to action, reflect and share. Now, as we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect on your life path number. What does it teach you about yourself? How can you apply the wisdom from numerology and Buddhism to shape your journey towards a life of peace, purpose, and prosperity? I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue this journey together and grow in understanding. If this video has inspired you or sparked some new insights, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us bring more valuable content to you, and we truly appreciate being a part of your journey. Final thought, a path beyond numbers. While numerology provides fascinating insights into our tendencies and potential, let's remember that in the end, the greatest teacher is experience. Life itself is our most profound teacher, guiding us through every triumph and setback. And the greatest wealth, as we've learned today, is in our hearts, the love we give, the compassion we extend, and the mindfulness we practice. May your path be one of wisdom, compassion, and true prosperity. And as you continue on your journey, remember that each moment is an opportunity to align with your deeper purpose and to create the life you've always dreamed of. Stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll dive deeper into the Buddhist concept of karma and how our past actions shape our present reality. It's a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all things, and how each choice we make has a ripple effect. I hope you'll join us for that exploration. Until then, take care and keep walking your path with mindfulness and compassion. In this conclusion, we've summarized the core teachings about mindfulness, the true nature of wealth, and the importance of integrity and right action in our journey toward prosperity. The call to action is smoothly integrated, encouraging viewers to share their insights and engage with the content while subtly inviting them to subscribe and stay engaged for future videos. The conclusion leaves the audience with something to ponder, creating anticipation for the next video while reinforcing the key message of the channel.